And it just didn't register. It wasn't accurate. It was like, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm a girl. Why can't that be seen? And as I got older, it became more and more apparent to me. And you know, growing up in the 1950s in a pretty conservative family, but the one thing I will say with my grandparents, there was tremendous compassion there for a community and for other people, and it wasn't something I knew how to discuss with my family. Unlike our youth today and young children today that are coming out, you know, to their families very early. No one had ever heard of this. I still wear scars on my wrist. I was working in a restaurant in the Upper West Side. I had already had one suicide attempt where I took a bottle of sleeping pills when I was 16 and literally did die. I mean, they revived me. But then again, at 17, slit the wrist. I mean, the frustration was so great. I knew that I could never, ever afford to have surgery or transition. By then I had learned about it. And it was as though I had no hope. As though I was going to have to spend the rest of my life being a total misfit and in a place where I just didn't belong. And my employer, when I didn't show up for work, I lived right across the street in a hotel, he sent over our cook to check on me. I was found in the bed by the cook with my wrist slit and blood everywhere, and he called our boss and didn't know what to do. If they called paramedics, I would have been put into Bellevue and into the psych ward. And rather than do that, his wife was a therapist, a psychiatrist. And he called her, and she gave them specific directions to do with me, what to do with me at that point. I mean, I wasn't near death. I still had a good pulse. I hadn't lost that much blood. And so she immediately came over to the hotel, and they brought me into their home. And they became my adopted family. And they paid for my surgery. The night I came out of the hospital, I went to the Stonewall Inn with two of my friends and danced. I mean, I woke up from the surgery feeling, it's a feeling I don't even know how to describe it. There was so much relief to suddenly be in the body that matched who I was. And when I got out of the hospital, the very first thing I wanted to do was to meet my friends and go to the Stonewall Inn and to go dancing and to celebrate that. For many years I've worked as a peer leader and leader with our transgender community, and I have met and talked with so many who, with so many suicide attempts, and have gotten onto drugs and may never be able to come off of those drugs because they were living in that place where I was when I was young, of not having any hope. And this is why I'm out, because I want the young people that are coming up behind us to have life very different than we did. That's my main goal and objective. And so our job really is, in being out, is to educate. And sometimes we have to educate the media as well as others. And I think that comes from having an open mind, open heart, and an open dialogue. I think we all are born with a destiny. And I believe it was my destiny to be precisely where I was at that precise time, to be in that situation, so that you and I could sit here today and have this open conversation, and that finally, after so many years of being uncomfortable, being in the role of a transgender person, as to have been born fully biological female, for me to be so comfortable that I can sit here and do this interview, and that I can travel around regardless of where I am and publicly say, when necessary, I'm a transgender woman.